What you see isn't always what's really there. Every day, your brain takes in millions of visual signals, and in most cases, it gets the world right. But every so often, it doesn't. That's an optical illusion, a mismatch between reality and your perception of it. Optical illusions aren't just tricks of visual gimmicks. They are windows into how the brain works. They reveal the shortcuts your visual system takes to interpret a complex, ever-changing world. These illusions happen not in your eyes, but in your brain. You don't just see with your eyes, you see with your mind. There are many types of illusions. One of the most common is a literal illusion, where what you see is made up of images that differ from the physical reality. Take the famous Penrose triangle, an impossible object that appears to be a 3D triangle, but could never exist in real space. Your brain interprets shadows, angles, and edges based on past experience, and fills in the rest. Then there are physiological illusions, caused by the overstimulation of your visual system. Stare at a bright image for too long, like a colored circle on a white screen, and when you look away, you'll see an afterimage in the opposite color. That's not your imagination. It's how your photoreceptors in the retina adapt and reset after being overwhelmed. The most fascinating are cognitive illusions. These are the illusions where your mind interprets what it thinks it should see, based on context and experience. Take the checker shadow illusion by Edward Adelson. Two squares on a checkerboard, one in shadow and one in light, look dramatically different in color, but they are exactly the same shade of gray. Your brain adjusts for the shadow automatically, making the darker square seem lighter. Another classic is the Muller illusion. Two lines of the same length, one with arrows pointing outward, the other inward. The one with inward-pointing arrows looks longer. Why? Some scientists believe it's because we've evolved in a 3D world full of corners, buildings, and depth cues. Our brain applies size and depth assumptions even to flat images. Then there's motion-based illusions, like the rotating snakes illusion. These static images appear to move, often in circles. That happens because your visual system is constantly predicting motion and updating its expectations, even when none exists. Your brain is trying to stay ahead of reality, and sometimes it overcorrects. Why does the brain make these errors? Because it's optimized for survival, not perfect accuracy. In the wild, quick decisions, is that a predator hiding in the shadows, are more valuable than detailed pixel-by-pixel analysis. So, your brain uses rules, patterns, and prior knowledge to interpret what it sees. This is called top-down processing. Your expectations shape your perception. We also rely on Gestalt principles, psychological rules about how we group and organize visual information. We tend to see patterns, symmetry, closure, and continuity, even when none truly exists. That's why we see faces in clouds or objects in ink blots. Optical illusions aren't flaws in your vision. They're the result of a brilliant, adaptive visual system doing its best to make sense of limited information. And studying illusions has real-world applications. In neuroscience, they help us understand perception, memory, and attention. In design, they help artists and architects manipulate space and depth. In artificial intelligence, illusions teach machines how humans process visual data and where we differ. Ultimately, illusions show us that reality and perception are not always the same. What we think we see is shaped by biology, experience, and expectation. So the next time you fall for an optical illusion, don't feel tricked, feel enlightened. It means your brain is working exactly as it should. Because to understand illusions is to understand the astonishing power and occasional limits of human perception.